We read in the book of Matthew 12, as Jesus himself points to Jonah and says, as Jonah was in the whale's belly 3 days and 3 nights, so shall the Son of Man be in the heart of the earth 3 days and 3 nights. And it was pointing to both the suffering that Christ experienced at the foundation of the world and the suffering in time in 33 AD. So it's no surprise at all when we go to the book of Jonah, we find the account of Jonah in the whale's belly. He's already been swallowed up in Jonah chapter 2. That we find Jonah praying while inside of the whale. In Jonah 2 verse 1, then Jonah prayed unto Jehovah his God out of the fish's belly, and said, I cried by reason of mine affliction unto Jehovah, and he heard me. Out of the belly of hell cried I, and thou heardest my voice. And really, it's all the while Jonah's in the whale's belly is like one prayer. And it concludes with a prayer of thanksgiving in verse 9. I will sacrifice unto thee with a voice of thanksgiving. And the next thing, Jonah's vomited out of the whale's belly. He prayed his way through that extremely trying experience historically, and the Lord Jesus prayed his way through the wrath of God. And that's why Jesus Christ himself found it necessary to pray more earnestly, because he's our example. He is supremely wise. And if the Lord Jesus Christ himself found it necessary to pray more earnestly while in the Garden of Gethsemane, then we can see why God is addressing us. He's speaking to us that have been brought and made to appear before the judgment seat of Christ in the day of wrath, in the day of punishment, in the day of the furious anger of God being poured out across all the world and upon all of its inhabitants. And God is emphasizing to us, men ought always to pray. Always pray and not to faint. Not to faint under the weight of tribulation, even great tribulation. And not to faint under the weight of the end of time, or the weight of the day of the Lord's wrath. But continue to pray. Pray all the while, all the time through it. As you go day by day, 40-day period, followed by 40-day period, followed by 40-day period, testing, as you're tried financially, tried physically with disease or affliction of some kind, as you're tried emotionally, or as you're tried in your home. You're the outcast, you're the strange one, as you're tried in the eyes of the world by appearing to be lunatic, or as you're tried in the eyes of the church by appearing to be heretic. And all the while looking to God as Jonah in the whale's belly. Where else did he have to turn? Who else would listen or could hear him? Only God. And only God could help him. And he knew it. And so we can be sure Jonah was praying fervently, all the more earnestly than probably he ever had before in his entire life. There was no escape, no way out. He must go through this trial within a whale's belly. And what could he do? Dear Father in heaven, help me.